We are here today to say no more to the pollution and destruction of our Earth Mother. For far too long, we fed and suffered from the hand of capitalism and consumerism. We've been given dirty water to drink and been told it's always been this way. As an Indigenous woman, I have only to look at my ancestors and know truth. We have never stopped fighting the battles for our mother. We've been murdered, moved, and seen our homes mutilated by the descendants of those who came to our lands with good intentions for themselves.
The other day I held my newborn cousin for the first time. And as I held him, I thought of all the love he's been given. I thought of all the strength he's been given. I thought of how he is our ancestors' wildest dreams, and he's beyond anything they could have imagined. I am 22 years old and I've never been to my homeland. When he is 22 years old, he may not know anyone who's ever been to our homeland. When his children are 22 years old, we may not have a homeland. We'll just be an idea. The history of our people will have been swallowed by the ocean and will become a myth, a story, and there'll be nowhere for our roots to grow from. That is if we don't take action. We, as Pacific climate warriors, are fighting not only to protect our future, but to protect our past. Our ancestors' history, our people's mana, our families' homes are all at risk. And some have already been lost. The Carteret Islanders of Papua New Guinea have been forced to relocate due to climate change. The Taro Islanders of the Solomon Islands have been forced to relocate due to climate change. The people of Aunulun, Samoa are considering leaving the island for good for fear of losing lives to the rising sea. Children in Kiribati are building seawalls to protect their homes and schools from flooding. The Pacific is feeling the effects of climate change faster, more clearly, and more drastically. As a collection of nations that contributes to less than 1% of the global carbon emissions, we are facing the consequences of climate change in full. So we have taken the responsibility of fighting. Fighting to protect our homes, fighting for the divestment of the fossil fuel industry. As Pacific climate warriors, we refuse to let the world see us as victims of climate change. We are warriors. And we are fighting. We're fighting for our liberation. Climate justice is Indigenous liberation. Climate justice is queer liberation. Climate justice is matriarchal liberation. Climate justice is our liberation. We refuse to be silent as our way of life is being threatened. We carry the strength given to us by our ancestors, and we form the liberation that will be for our descendants for generations to come. So to my fellow warriors here, I say to you, you are Matangi Malohi. Strong winds villaging children, brown bodies molding brown minds, moving between healer and warrior, formulating the visions of liberation for years to come that we haven't even begun to imagine yet. And to the rest of the world we say, we are not drowning. We are fighting.
Tell me what you want. What you really want. Justice. Tell me what you need. What you really need. Justice. How are we gonna get it? People power. How are we gonna get it? People power. Tell me what you want. What you really want. Justice. Tell me what you need. What you really need. Justice. How are we gonna get it? People power. How are we gonna get it? People power.
from Beaverton School District, and ever since early July, Abner has been striking from school every single Friday. Yeah! You can find him with his signs sitting in front of Portland City Hall demanding action to address the climate crisis. Give it up for Abner! Hello everyone, my name is Abner. Today I want to tell you why climate action matters so much to me. Inspired by Chelsea Clinton's book Start Now about youth action, I decided to write letters to elected officials in December. I've since written to 113 officials and candidates about CO2 emissions, energy, renewable energy, and climate debates. From governors, mayors, presidential candidates, state senators, and more. Some have written back. I wrote to every governor to thank them for joining or to ask them to join the U.S. Climate Alliance, an alliance of governors supporting the Paris Agreement. Afterwards, the Alliance and the UN Foundation nominated me to go to the first ever UN Youth Summit that's taking place tomorrow. Unfortunately, I will not be able to go, but I am glad in a way because I get to be here with you. I did not know about Greta Thunberg, Fridays for Future, or climate strikes when I started my letter writing. My first climate strike was in March at the state capitol. I have been striking every Friday since early July, mostly at Portland City Hall. This is week 14. I am on my 5th sign now. Most weeks it's just me and an adult that has been striking for even longer. Usually my sister and a parent comes to make sure I stay on the sidewalk. Climate action is important to me because the big effects of climate change will hit my generation and the one after that. We have 10 years to act. That's right, just 10 years before there is irreversible change that cascades out of human control. I feel it is my duty to make sure action is take action personally and make sure action is taken on a grand scale. We can't wait until we are older and run for an office. On some issues we can, but on climate change and many others, we can't. We must act right now. One would think if there was a crisis this big, it would be on every news headline and newscast. Yet youth addressing Congress on Wednesday was barely mentioned. You would think that we would have a climate debate, but no, some people still don't even think climate change is real. We know what we need to do, we just need to do it. If everyone understood what is happening, we could have overcome the climate crisis by now. We must fight the climate crisis in every way we can individually, but we won't get anywhere if we don't act as a whole. Sometimes we have to start something, even if we don't know every little detail.
That's right.
We are in one of these situations. What can you do today to help fight the climate crisis? It might not be much, imagine if we all did that little thing. Then it would be a big thing.